easy. Only want that, only want that.
So let's start with the main question. Like all of the musicians, they have a particular reason why would they start doing music. Like, what is your reason that you started doing music with?
I guess I can trace it all back to my dad, probably. Um, he just listened to so much music. He listens to everything. So growing up, I didn't have a choice. I had to just listen to music all the time. So it was just kind of natural, I think, that I wanted to pursue it because I'd grown up with it. Um, I didn't really make the decision to try and be a musician until I was maybe 15, 16, um, when it was just join a band and go for that. But it's just always been such a huge part of my life that it kind of felt natural. That's always what I was going to end up doing, I think.
What was the kind of music that your dad listened to?
Honestly, everything. He's got, I think my taste is the same as his now. He's got one of the most diverse tastes in music of anybody I've ever come across. So he listened to all the classic bands of his era, like Rolling Stones and the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and AC/DC and Sting and the Police. But then he listened to classical music. He listened to brand new music that was, through the 90s and 2000s. He listens to really left field stuff, opera. He listens to acid jazz, everything. It's so diverse.
Yeah.
So,
Good. Also, I know that you play an acoustic guitar, and you got a lot of songs where you play the guitar. So, yeah, I see. When did you start playing the guitar? Like, what age were you?
me and my older brother, we went in and paid half together, and we bought a guitar. I think I must have been 13. So I started playing a little bit at 13. I didn't really take it seriously for a long, long time. So for the first 5 or 6 years, it was just kind of I'd play a little bit. Only really in the last 5, 6, 7 years have I kind of really tried to get better at it. But I've been playing for 15 years or so now.
All right, and also you started your career with playing within a band as a band member, and then you evolved into your solo career. So now you perform live and you record your own songs, being a solo artist. So were there any kind of difficulties of performing solo after you've been in a band for a long time?
It's a lot easier to play solo than it is with the band, just because of the genre of music. So the band that I'm in, it's electro pop. So there's a lot of gear on stage. We have to wear kind of in-ear headphones. There's computers playing backing tracks. So it's actually quite a bit of an operation to play live with that band. So going solo, playing live, I just need one guitar and a microphone is a lot easier. It's a totally different sort of feeling, to be honest. Playing with the band is very calculated and very much a performance, whereas playing solo it's just kind of me trying to be natural.
Yeah. Also, when you record your music, can you just say you're also experienced in recording and all the production stages? Can you please give an advice to all the beginner musicians who are about to start their music, who are about to start recording their music now? What's the most important thing in the production, you reckon?
I honestly think that as much as you can get, really good gear and great equipment and great software, it doesn't really matter unless you kind of the bones of your song are good or not. So depending on what you want to go into, I would focus on just being able to write sort of basic songs, and then you can always add production, whichever way. So with X1O, the band I'm in, that is, like I said, electro pop, quite dancey at times. But the songwriting for that is exactly the same as whether I'm writing a song that's for me to play by myself acoustically on stage. If you can get that basic level of songwriting down, melody, if that's what you're going to be writing, you can always add the touches, the production using software or whatever down the line. I don't think even if you have the world's best software, if you don't write the material in the first place, it's kind of redundant because you can't really use it to add to anything. You need the bones there first.
But referring back to your personal experience, can you say like how long does it take for you to write a song? Just an average time, like to write a song, not to record it, to write it, to come up with it.
It doesn't take me long to get an idea for a song down, but to finish a song takes me a long time because I get the idea, and I get the kind of the basic of what the song is going to be, but then I'm somebody who likes to refine songs as I go. So I quite often will record 2 or 3 different versions of a song until I get the final one. So like kind of starting a song and getting 90% of a song done can be quite quickly for me, usually within a couple of hours. Finishing a song can take me weeks, months sometimes.
Yeah, I had the same kind of experience though. When you write a song in 20 minutes and the other verse, you can't finish it within like half a year or so.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly that.
Is there? Yeah. So also, just for music fans, can you please name 3 people in music that inspire you? Maybe the bands, maybe the solo artists.
Yeah. So I mean, alive or dead?
So like, anyone want to, because people want to listen to it, maybe.
So my biggest inspirations would be Prince, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Prince is just an amazing talent, just such a creative person. There's a singer-songwriter who's also dead now, a guy called John Martin, who was an acoustic player. John Martin, he was an amazing songwriter, so emotional. His songs were so powerfully emotive. And then I also, from a songwriting point of view, it's slightly controversial, I guess, for people these days, not for any bad reason, but Sting. So Sting, to me, is such an amazing songwriter, such a great lyricist. So those 3, to me, have been big impacts on the way I approach writing music.
And also, lastly, can you just give like one simple advice to people who begin doing music, not on the perspective of performance, either more of kind of philosophical thing, like, I don't know, how should they take it? Like, if they want to plan their life with music, like, what shall they do?
Well, I think I've said it in lessons and I've said it on stage and stuff like that. But the message I always try and preach is that music is an art form first and foremost, and it always should be treated as an art form first and foremost. It's a business, it's a career only if you want it to be. So I know people who want to write songs, but they think that they don't want to write them the way because it's not going to fit. They're not going to be played on radio, or it's not commercial enough. But just don't worry about it. Music should be an art form first. If you want to turn it into a career, then there's a different way you should approach it. But what I don't want to ever see happen is people who, start out in music thinking that they can second guess an industry or something like that, because straight away you're in a bad place to start straight away.
Yeah, I think that people shouldn't take it like in a commercial way though, because if the person thinks that, okay, I'm gonna go and do music business, like in terms of performance, and I'm gonna do it just because I need money, I need the financial stability, it's not gonna work out, because it is an art form.
Yeah. And it's such a subjective industry. If you just get into it from a business commercial point of view, you'll find yourself getting very frustrated and very annoyed, and probably having quite a short career, even if you had one at all, in doing it that way.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I think that's it.
Nothing when I ask you, what can I do?